you come from? Streaming in the afternoon. It doesn't even. That wasn't a good. That wasn't good. I didn't even like that, but that's fine because no one's here anyways. Nobody's even here, I don't think. Let me see. Is there anyone? 3 waiting. Last stream 3 hours ago. There might be 3 people here, but none of them said anything. Anyways, if anyone watches, hey Jillian. Jillian's here. I can always count on Jillian to be here. 4 people are watching now. That's good. So, I'm about to take a little ride this afternoon. Gonna go help Nerdbot clean up some of the aftermath of Nerd Expo and Nerd Nights from Saturday. And that'll be fun. I feel like I got a little bug bite right here. Something bit me. That little son of a gun. Oh, hey Lizzie. We had a good stream this morning. Talked a little bit about this weekend. Talked a little bit about hurricanes and New York Comic-Con. Didn't really talk about the Emmys at all. If anyone wants to bring up what the hell happened there, I didn't watch it. Heard there's some people that are mad about Game of Thrones getting or not getting certain awards last night, but I don't know. Awards shows are confusing me. Oh boy, here we go with the texting. My mom's been talking to me lately through text. Okay. Okay, just reading about texts from my mom. Call your mom. You know, I should call my mom more, and probably so should you. Couldn't hurt, right? So I got this. That's why I don't want that there. Let's do this. Yeah, that's a little better. Hey, Lapis Lazuli. Ooh, that's a lot of hearts. Oh man, that's 2 of every kind of heart available, I'm guessing. 2 of hearts. 2 of hearts. That's what makes me want to do the robot dance. If you've ever seen, what is it, 8 Crazy Nights, there's a little guy that goes, that makes me want to do the robot dance. And so he does do the robot dance. And I like that little guy. Forget his name, though. What's his name? Who cares? So, yeah, we're here. Got a little kitty sleeping on the bed over here. Let's take a look at her right now. She's too sleepy to even hear what's going on over there. But that's okay. Kitty's got to take a nap sometimes. Whitey, that's right, Jillian. That's exactly right. I love that little guy. Oh, Dad made me want... Nah, never mind. I'm not going to say it again. So, yeah. Here's a little story from yesterday. There was a guy at the convention who lost something. And it was something that wasn't allowed in the convention. Let's call it a flask. He had this thing that was prohibited material that his father had given him, and he lost it. And he got so worked up about it that he started to cry and was like huddled in a corner crying. But it drew such a crowd that eventually it was like, oh, what are you missing? And he's like, oh, I'm missing this thing. And everyone's like, you should have never had it in the first place, and now it's everyone's problem that you lost it. And it's like you're being kind of a baby about it, even if it does have sentimental value. And so I guess the point I'm trying to make is if you're going to conventions, don't bring things you shouldn't bring. Don't do that. Just play by the rules a little bit for everyone's sake. Makes me sad when people have emotional attachment to stuff and then they bring it with them everywhere unnecessarily. But yeah, I don't know. Hey, Alaska Wolf. Everyone's just saying hi, and I like that. But yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about what it's like to help. I don't know if anyone here volunteers at conventions or volunteers for anything. But man, you get involved with helping out to make something happen and you start to realize how Just so we're clear, Lapis Lazuli, YouTube doesn't like all the emojis. I don't particularly mind them, but YouTube sees them as being spammy. Hey Azura, it's okay if you can't stay long. I'm glad you got to say hi. That's all I'm really. So that's all that really matters is you got to say hi. So yeah, when you go to a convention, it's so easy to criticize. You know, they could have done this better. They could have done that better. They could have put more attention into this. Hey Karen, but like, literally everyone at that con is busy all day, every day of the con, doing what they can to make it as good a con as possible. And at the end of the day, just one little slip up just makes everyone so unhappy. You know, it's like if anyone it affects. For example, we had a few sound hiccups the other day, and that ended up being like this reflection of the organizers in general. And it's like, man, we can't be at every soundboard. We can't be looking at all the levels all the time, making sure you can hear everything. Like, the sound guy was there. He had his equipment and everything was in order. And it's just, sometimes there's a wire that's tricky, slips up, slaps you in the face. I don't know. Hey, Olivia. And don't be sorry, Mira Lapis Lazuli. Just don't, don't be surprised if YouTube tries to flag your stuff when you post that many emojis. I don't care. Whatever. Do your thing. Just, don't get confused when it looks like it pops up on the screen as something that is equivalent to vulgarity. But yeah, it makes me feel really bad, and it makes me want to criticize things less, do less, like, yelping about, like, oh, this sucked because I had a bad experience. Because it's like, whatever. Like, you had a bad experience. You had a bad day. You know, that sort of thing. There she goes. Lapis Lazuli. Toning it down real nice. But Tony got out of the hospital today. We heard that this morning. That was nice. Had the same problem in my haunted house Friday night. It was going in and out all night. Yeah, it's, there's nothing you can do, Extreme Red. You do your best, but I don't know, we expect so much now. We get these perfect products. We get to watch television and movies that are so finished that when someone leaves a coffee cup on a table in Game of Thrones, it becomes like national news. Or when somebody's somebody's underwear is showing like from the top of their pants or something. It's like, oh god, what do you want? Like, you can't constantly be double checking everything all the time. Eventually the show has to go on. So it's discouraging, but it's also kind of necessary, because you really should do your best to make it a good experience for everyone. And if you can't get it perfect, you learn a lesson for next time. But, whew, everybody wants it perfect. They want it bellissima. Man. So what else is going on, guys? Let's see. I've been watching Westworld. And I'm going to tell you something. Whatever happens at the end of this season better be enormous, because I really am starting not to care what's happening in Westworld. Season 1 has been fun, but it's a little too mysterious and it's not really moving forward for me enough. And it's so funny that so many people loved Westworld when it was just coming out and hated Game of Thrones at the end of their run. And I thought Game of Thrones was so good all the way to the end. So Westworld is a show. Westworld is a show where there's a theme park in like a future world, and we've got all this technology, and you can go to this place like Disney World, but instead of going to Disney World, you go to an old western town, and it's got cowboys and, like a brothel and a general store and a bunch of sheriffs and deputies and stuff that want you to go bounty hunting with them. But all of the people in the town that are locals, you're a visitor as a tourist, they're robots, basically. They're biomechanical beings. and you have a real gun, and you can go around and kill everybody if you want to, and you can go around and play through the scenario where you save a damsel's life in the Old West, and you kill the bandits or whatever, but they can't kill you. You're just there, and you're paying like an atrocious amount of money to experience this thing. And the show starts to reveal, like, oh, maybe there's something more going on with all these biomechanical beings. And it's just real mysterious. It's like, oh, well, was that a real memory? Are you truly recalling your past, or is this programmed into? And it's like, all right, guys, nobody cares anymore. Just either make it happen or not. Bye, Azura. I just found out a lot of my old drawings from when I had a FNAF. Trying to think of what FNAF means. It's an anime, I think. Full Metal Alchemist? No, that's not it. I don't know. I just found... Oh, you just found a lot of old drawings. Not you just found out. Extreme Red, it's a show called Westworld. That's what I was talking about. Just now getting on. Hey, Corey. Good to see you. I used to be obsessed with FNAF. Oh, Five Nights at Freddy's. That's right. Five Nights at Freddy's. The kids love it. It was all the rage before Fortnite took over and started making everyone do weird dances. I guess it's still kind of all the rage. There's still some Friday Night Freddy's or Five Nights at Freddy's people who are just gotta draw those Chuck E. Cheese bears. Oh, you know what I found out is the guy who did the voice of Barney, Bob West, was at Nerd Expo this weekend, and he also told me that he was the voice of some of the characters at Chuck E. Cheese's, like a banjo-playing dog. And I thought that was just hilarious. Like, you never know where your favorite voice actor's gonna pop up. But yeah, keep an eye out if you ever got a spooky little cousin or whatever that has a birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese's. You might hear the voice of Barney as one of the animatronic singing characters there. He also told me that as that animatronic singing dog, he would also do corporate instructional videos on, like, how to make pizzas, how to stay safe and stuff. And I'm like, that is hilarious. I cannot believe that they would have, like, one of their mascots do instructional videos for their employees. But yeah, I mean, the animatronic animals at children's museums or not museums, restaurants are pretty terrifying. So I guess Five Nights at Freddy's just makes sense. It just makes financial sense to make a video game about horrifying robotic animal singers. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Does anyone else think Elmo is the spawn of the devil? Not really, Alaska Wolf. I mean, Elmo's a means to an end. It's just a real high-pitched little guy meant to get children to count and spell things and like things and hug things that when they would otherwise be hitting things and destroying things. Hey, Janice. Good to see you. They made a horror film about the banana splits. Yeah, I think they're working on it, right? It hasn't come out yet, but it's like it's in the works. A banana splits horror movie, kind of in the same vein as Five Nights at Freddy's. All he wants is to be tickled, says Corey. Yeah, that's probably the worst part about him. Other than that, Elmo, I don't know. I kind of like Elmo. I've never had a bad experience with him. Do you know Minecraft? I look something up. What more popular Minecraft and what's more popular, Minecraft or Fortnite? It says Minecraft is more popular, but I think it's equal. Just have fun with the game. It doesn't matter which one is more popular. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter at all. Like if it's the game for you, then you found your game and you should be happy. And it doesn't matter if somebody else's game has more people playing it. But I personally think Minecraft is a little more constructive, literally. Like, you go and you build a little thing. You build a lot of things. Build a whole world if you need to. But Fortnite, kind of depressing. The whole plot is kill strangers. Everyone's on an island. Might as well murder each other until there's only one person left. Because that's always the question people ask. If you were stranded on a desert island, how would you murder everyone else that was also stranded so that you could win somehow? I can only pop in for a moment, but I wanted to say hi. Hi, Kazara. Welcome, and I'm sure we're going to be saying goodbye in like just a minute when you're saying you have to leave. But yeah, I don't know. Minecraft is the Legos of video games. It's like pretty harmless, although there does seem to be some toxic element to the fandom. People who play Minecraft and like to use it to grief other players or destroy what other players have done or whatever. I got an article, me, Elmo, and it would not... Oh, you got to tickle me, Elmo. I was like, an article about Elmo, and it would not stop turning on randomly. Ooh, Alaska. Yeah, that'll leave a bad memory in your head of Elmo. And that's why I don't play Fortnite, because people could go crazy in real life. I mean, I'm not saying, Lapis Lazuli, that Fortnite is going to make people go... I play a lot of games where you kill people, but I think if you're going to be a kid who's getting into a game, especially around like middle school age, it's just as good to, you know, it's probably better for you to get into the game where you build things rather than the game where you murder a bunch of people or a bunch of characters that have real people connected to them on the internet, because it makes this weird, terrible competitive spirit come out of people. Even high school sports, I don't know why we love sports so much. Why we make kids in one school literally compete against kids in another school to see who's better, and then we act confused when later on in life that kid turns out to be like an over I don't know, aggressive jerk, and it's like, oh, it's because you see everyone as competition. The sports thing, who knows? Friggin' jocks. Just saying, you never know. When I was little, I remember when I had a Furby and it would not shut up, so I threw it out the window of my bedroom and it broke. That's a great way to get it to shut up, Lizzie. It's a great way to get your parents mad that they wasted money on a Furby, too. And it's all about football. It's insane. Yeah, Corey, like, you know, I'm sure you know some people who are football people, and they will be mad at a stranger for wearing the shirt of a competing team. And it's like, one, you don't know anything about that guy aside from he likes the other team. And two, even if you guys were to fight about which team is better, it still doesn't affect whether... It shouldn't affect your emotions. Like, your team losing shouldn't make you mad. It should be completely it should be a non-issue. I don't know. I bet this what the Furby thought. Yeah, we smashed a lot of things as a kid. We used to, anything we could find that had parts to it, we would throw it out the window. VCRs, toys, other broken appliances. Soda cans that we had shaken up for several hours. You ever thrown a soda can out the window after shaking it for like 2.5 hours? It does crazy things. They don't just explode like a rip opens up in it. I mean, it can, I guess, but like sometimes like it'll like a shotgun blast will open up out of one corner of it. I threw one once and it turned into a spiral, and you could pull it like a slinky. But you know, that's what kids need. They gotta experiment with things and throw them out the window. Not the pets. You keep the pets in the house. Don't throw the pets out the window. Just old garbagey machinery and stuff. Me and my grandma burned the Tickle Me Elmo. I think you may need to talk to your grandma or your parents about how grandma needs to be living, because maybe if she's helping you burn your stuffed animals, possibly not that, not having all her decision making capabilities. Talking about high school football fights between parents, crazy stuff. Yeah, the day I get into verbal or physical altercation with someone else's children about the outcome of a game is the day that you can put me down. Like, forever. Like, just get rid of me altogether. I'm done. I don't need that in my life ever. Furby, hi, hello. Gets thrown out window. Okay. Narrating the whole deal. Lizzie, you weren't a bad child. You were just doing what you were doing. You know, when we're kids, we gotta find out stuff. We gotta find out about the value of money. We gotta find out that other people have feelings that we need to respect. We gotta find out about sharing. We gotta find out about death. We gotta find out about all the, adult things that adults do with each other. Hopefully in a way that doesn't threaten them or make them feel unsafe. But, man, there's not many bad kids out there. And chances are, if there are any bad kids, it's because they weren't given enough of one thing or another. But, man, you can't blame it on the kids. And if you were a kid when you did a bad thing, can't blame it on yourself. Just be cool. Just be cool. Throws Furby out of a 10-story building. Yeah, if you had a 10-story house, then that's the way to live, I guess. That got 10-story house. Or if you lived on the 10th story, that's a little more feasible, I think. Well, our house only had a 2nd-story window. It was not even... Well, I guess it was 2nd story. Yeah. I never had a Furby. I never had a Tamagotchi. I never had, what else didn't I have? A Tickle Me Elmo. There's a lot of things I never had because I was too old for them at the time. But I had a lot of other stuff. I had an Optimus Prime. I had a lot of G.I. Joes, a lot of Ninja Turtles, Had a lot of Spawn figures. Had a lot of everything. Furby will not be back. Lapis Lazuli. Furby is not a vengeful creature. Furby was an innocent, and you slayed him. I still have my Tamagotchi. I bet I'd be impressed if there was still a working original printing Tamagotchi out there. It got fried somehow. Yeah, those things were cheap. That's why I'm saying I'd be impressed if there was still a working one, because those were not built to last. They were built to get through the first battery life cycle, and then that Tamagotchi was meant to be thrown away. My brother was misbehaving, and my dad duct taped him to a tree. I think a kid can handle that. I think a kid can handle being duct taped to a tree every once in a while, because it's by your parents, and hopefully your parents were the kind of people who were like, I'm going to duct tape you to the tree, but I've done enough things to you and with you that you know that I'm not going to leave you there for very long, and you're not actually scared about it. You think it's a fun game where you'll have to be up there for 2 or 3 minutes. We'll take some pictures of you, and then we'll cut you down. Like, hopefully it was not a traumatic experience for your brother, because I think that could be pretty funny, taping a kid to a tree. Man. You got the demonic Furby. Yeah, I mean, we've all got a little bit of a demonic thing happening. My screen is half there on my Tamagotchi now. Oof. Yeah, so not a great Tamagotchi anymore. Do you remember Pogs? The little round discs that had pictures on them. Everyone had traded them around school. Of course, I'm old, so you know. No, Corey, I had a ton of Pogs. I had like the brass, like 1.5-inch thick slammers that were more just like ingots of metal that you could break a car window with. Yeah, we had a bunch of Pogs in my neighborhood, and that was honestly the one thing I've ever shoplifted. consistently was Pogs. When I was in middle school, we used to go by the baseball card shop and shoplift Pogs because they were small enough where you could just have a dozen of them in your pocket and bring them home. And I mean, they were worthless. Even if you sold them for a cent a piece, they'd still be at like 100% markup. Like, those things were worthless pieces of paperboard, and yet somehow they became like a multi-million-dollar industry, which was more for China than anything. Like, it was like, oh, this thing can be manufactured quickly and cheaply, and we can print, copyrighted characters on there. Okay, send me 900 million cases from China, and I will sell them at 10 cents a piece and pay $30 for the whole lot of it. I bought a Metal Optimus Prime and a classic Bumblebee a few years ago. I love them. Oh, Karen, it's too bad you couldn't be at Nerd Expo this year, because we had the voice of Optimus Prime, Peter Cullen, there. Apparently he was a nice guy. I never got to meet him. I agree with the sports, like, they're the important people of the world. Yeah. I don't know, Janice. The sports thing just confuses me. I was never into, like, wanting to compete with other people for no reason. So, like, I stayed away from it when I could. I remember I also hated this Bigfoot toy my dad tormented me with. Yeah, I don't remember being scared. We had a My Buddy doll that I grew to be very scared of after the whole Child's Play movie thing. So, I mean, I get being scared, but that no one ever, like, waved it in my face. It just got stored in a closet, a real dark downstairs basement closet. And that thing was a nightmare years later. Trying to get something out of that closet, and you see this little stuffed child's face staring at you from the back. Not good. Duct taped to the tree for an hour after taking my dad's boat. Oh, wow, so that was a legitimate punishment in Alaska. That's not good. That's a little abusive, that's pretty rough. Bigfoot toy, why you hate me? No, maybe he loves you. Maybe he's just misunderstood. But yeah, there's a lot of scary children's toys. I had the best, My Buddy doll. He was scary, and I also had it's like a wall hanging, and it was a wooden. I don't want to call it a frame, but like a wooden disc. No, maybe it was rectangular. A beveled wooden rectangle, and on the top of it was mounted. It was like a plaque, I guess it was. And there was a little picture of a field, a grassy field with a barrel. You're looking into a barrel, and inside the barrel is pitch black. And emerging from the barrel is a duckling. And I think underneath that picture it said, "Arise, go forth and conquer." And it's supposed to be cute because it's a duckling coming out of a barrel to, like, conquer. But somehow that I became more concerned with the darkness inside the barrel than the fact that it was like a cute duckling coming out of it. And that to me was one of the scariest things in my household. And it was right next to my bed. I don't know, but I never complained about it. Like, I never told my parents, like, this thing scares the shit out of me. But for some reason, it did. Hey, Chiles. Man. But anyways, we're getting close to wrapping up. So, I want to say thank you to the now 13, lucky number 13 people who are currently watching this. Got to hang out for a little while. I was telling the other stream, I may start doing other kind of gaming streams when it suits my fancy. Maybe some Twitch streams with some new games and stuff. But we'll see. I don't know. If I'm feeling froggy, we'll go for it. But otherwise, I don't know. No promises. So keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, it's pretty standard thing today. My uncle had the Chucky doll. I got Chucky wife. And ever since that, Chucky wife been in my room having bad days. But as soon as it's out, some days are normal. I think my Chucky wife doll. Yeah, Lapis Lazuli. Get that haunted doll out of there. The more creepy stuff you have around your house, the more chances you have of being haunted. I think my house is haunted because I'm home alone and have been hearing footsteps. It's just the house settling. until you're murdered. Hey, no problem, Corey. We'll talk to you again soon. In the meantime, everybody be good to one another, and I will see you next Monday at the very least, if not before then. But, like I said, you're all appreciated and loved, and I'll see you again soon. Miss you, love you, bye.